Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and sports topics related. It is brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, before I get into the show, just want to have everybody out there wish their mom, their grandmother, a very, very happy Mother's Day this coming Sunday. Obviously, none of us would be here if it wasn't for our moms. So just want to give a shout out to moms, grandmothers everywhere. This is your day. So treat them well. Big Bronco 1974 says, hope everybody's having a good day. Absolutely. Having a really good day. Got some good topics lined up for the show. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Avatar says, what's up, Broncos country and Nuggets town? Yeah, I know. Too bad you're not saying Avalanche anymore. I got some stuff about Landeskog. We'll get into that in a minute. But breaking news just happened. This does not directly, by way of a player, centered around the Broncos, but it does involve the Broncos in not one game this year, but two. Here it is. Vikings have traded Darius Smith, pass rusher, Darius Smith, to the Browns. Here it is. The Browns are acquiring Darius Smith via trade with the Vikings per Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported just minutes before I came on. The full trade, this is crazy what Minnesota gave up. The full trade will see the Browns acquire Smith, a 2025 6th and 7th round draft picks, in exchange for sending just 2024 and 2025 5th round picks to the Vikings. Vikings got robbed. There must have been something else going on as to why. Here's the weird thing. Smith has also reworked his contract, which guarantees him $11.75 million in 2023, but will be a free agent in 2024, according to Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. Again, Cleveland, are you putting all your eggs in one basket for one season? I don't see that. I do not see the Browns getting deep in the playoffs if they even get there. Reason why I say that it involves the Broncos indirectly is this. We play the Vikings this year, and the very next game after the Vikings is against the Cleveland Browns. Thank goodness both of those games are at home. The topic of this show is the 2023 Denver Broncos schedule. I'm going to get into that. I'm not going to give you what I think my predictions will be for the season because I haven't seen preseason. And I want to see preseason with the starters because we didn't see it last year, but we're going to see it this year. And I want to see exactly how these guys look. Okay. So I'm going to give you what I think may happen, but I'll kind of finalize as we get closer to the actual season and preseason. Robert Marino, hey buddy, hey Robert, nice for chiming in. That's my nephew. He says the trade is basically a salary dump. I would agree with that. I would have to agree with that. Robert should know he's a huge Vikings fan. So there's your plug, Robert. I gave you that. But yeah, I mean, but that's what's sad is when you dump a player who's been really, really good for your team, and you dump him to another team, and they only keep him for a year and pay him $11.75 million guaranteed. Wow, that's a stretch, in my opinion. All right, let's get into the schedule. Oh, wait a minute, Avatar, that's cool, dude. You're ordering food from Ruby's Tuesday for Mother's Day. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, good. Good. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's a wonderful time for you and your family. All right, let's move to the schedule. The first week out of the gate is home. Well, we got the first two games at home against the Vegas Raiders. I think that's a win. Absolutely think that's a win. Coming out of the gate with Sean Payton, and there's going to be so much energy in Power Field. It's gonna be electric. It's going to, and it's against the Raiders, and we all know we can't stand the Raiders. So obviously, that's going to, I got that as a win. Followed by the Washington Commanders, who today, I found out today that the Commanders and Daniel Snyder have officially sold the team to that firm. I can't remember. I don't have it on my phone. I'm not going to check it right now, but it's official. The Washington Commanders have a new owner. I don't know any more details other than that. I don't know the cost of it, but they're going to be in a disarray with the new owner and all that. So I say the first 2 games out of the gate, Broncos should win that. Week 3 at Miami. Now, a lot of people are saying that. Thanks, Avatar. You're right. The Harris Group. Thank you very much. A lot of people are saying that the Dolphins should win this game. I don't know. Every year I go into the new season we're going 17-0. Of course, that's preposterous. We're not going to do that. There's only been a handful of teams that's done that. And I'm talking about a handful, like small handful, like the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. That's it. And the Dolphins only won to win the Super Bowl. Patriots didn't. So they didn't go undefeated the entire season. But they did have an entire regular season undefeated. I don't see the Broncos doing that. But I'm just saying, I look at all these games. I'm like, okay, we can win that. We can win that. This happens here. That happens there. We can win it. Of course. Realistically, no. Dolphins, a lot of people are saying the Dolphins will beat the Broncos. It's the first Broncos road game. Okay, I'll give them that. All right, now we're 2-1. We got the Chicago Bears in Chicago on October 1st. It's going to be cold in Chicago. So I don't know about that game. I don't know. I'll say that's a Broncos win. So let's say we're 3-1. Now we get into a stretch of tough games. There's only one game in these next 4 that I'm going to reveal that I really legitimately feel and think that the Broncos will win. First game, our first primetime game, week 6, Thursday night at Kansas City. Are we going to break the losing streak against the Chiefs on Thursday night, primetime road game? I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. I personally don't think so. Not against Kansas City, not on the road, not in primetime. And then the next game, week 7, is at home against Green Bay. Well, Green Bay is an easily win. I mean, Green Bay has nobody. Aaron Rodgers isn't there anymore. They have nobody. I mean, sure, they've got players, but you know what I'm saying. Not like the elite that they used to have with all their weapons. So that's a Broncos win. Then we have Kansas City at home, following the Packers at home. That game, I feel and think that the Broncos will win that game. Why? Twofold. 1, we're at home, and 2, we have Sean Payton. It's a whole different ball game. If this was Nathaniel Hackett, we'd probably go 0-17. I mean, I'm just saying. We only won 5 last year, and one of them wasn't even with Russell Wilson. So, and then week 9, perfect spot. Perfect spot for a bye. Week 9. I mean, you can't get any more middle of the season with 17 games. So week 9's perfect. I love it. So the first 8 games, Denver has 5 home games, 4 on the road, Dolphins, Bears, Chiefs, and then our bye. So I guess that's actually only, that's only 8, 5 at home, 3 on the road. Then we have our bye in week 9. Now comes the hard part of the season, in my opinion. If it wasn't Kansas City, Green Bay, or Jets, Kansas City, Green Bay, Kansas City, those 4, 3 out of the 4 being very tough, we get into a very difficult stretch. And here it is. Back-to-back prime time. Monday night, November 13th at Buffalo. November 13th at Buffalo at night? Oh, yeah. Expect about 3 feet of snow for that game. Holy mackerel, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But is that a winnable game? No. I mean, it is. Every game that you play is potentially winnable. I just don't think they beat Buffalo on November 13th in Buffalo at night. No, that's not happening. Here's the part that I was talking about with the trade of the Ladarius Smith to the Browns by the Vikings. This is important because we play the Vikings the very next primetime Sunday night, week 11 at Denver, November 19th, and no Ladarius Smith. That is going to be huge because he was an absolute machine, a wrecker. I mean, he just destroyed offensive lines and got to the quarterback over and over and over again. If he didn't sack him, he was pressuring the heck out of him. That is great for the Broncos in that game because we won't have to worry about Ladarius Smith. Uh-oh. Week 12 at Denver, the Cleveland Browns play the Denver Broncos. Guess who's on the Browns? I just said it. Ladarius Smith. Oh, we dodge a bullet with Minnesota, but then we take one right at the head when we play Cleveland. Holy smokes. I thought the Cleveland game was going to be a whole heck of a lot easier, but not now. Not now. Unless we can figure out how to stop Ladarius Smith and Garrett on the other side, we're going to be in trouble. We are going to be in trouble. And that, all of a sudden, this Cleveland game on week 12 at Denver is now a scary game to me. A scary game to me. It wasn't when I saw it yesterday, or wasn't even 5 minutes before I came on the show. It wasn't scary. It is now because of Ladarius Smith. Oh, boy. Then we get into 3 straight road games. 3 straight road games. Now, these are winnable games, although the middle one, probably not. So, week 13 at Houston, Texas. They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody to speak of. They drafted a quarterback, but he's not going to be that good, I don't think, unless he's another Patrick Mahomes clone, which I doubt. So that's a winnable game for the Broncos. The middle game, week 14, at the LA Chargers. You know, they're at home. You got it. Well, they don't have any home fans, so maybe it'll be a Broncos home game again, which would be great. Most likely will be. That could go either way. But because the Chargers will be at home, I'll say the Chargers get the win. And then we go to Detroit in week 15. Detroit has nobody. We should be able to beat Detroit. Absolutely should be able to beat Detroit. Then we got our last primetime game in week 16 at home against the New England Patriots. That's a winnable game. The Patriots don't have Brady. They don't have Gronkowski. They're a shell of themselves. Just look at last year's season. They didn't win a division that they've owned since, I guess, 1905. But I'm being facetious. You know what I'm saying. But they've owned that division forever. Brady leaves? Not anymore. And they certainly are not going to beat the Broncos this year in week 16. Week 17 at home on New Year's Eve. The Patriots game is Christmas Eve. On New Year's Eve at home against the LA Chargers. That's the game we're going to win. That's the game we're going to beat them. Why? Because we're at home. And it's an important game. It's a divisional game. So that one I see as a win. Last game of the season is bookends because the first game of the season was the Las Vegas Raiders. Last game of the season at Las Vegas. That game is to be determined. We don't know if they're going to be playing on a Saturday or Sunday. All depends on the standings. All depends on playoffs and all of that. But that game is on the road in Vegas, and I'll tell you what, I don't know about this game. I don't know. I don't know what Bronco team we're going to see. I don't know where we are, if we're going to be in the playoffs contention, or if the Raiders are going to be in the playoff contention. I don't know. But anyways, that is the schedule. I'm not going to give, like I said, I'm not going to give my predictions because I really don't know. I haven't seen preseason. I want to see preseason, and then I'll get into that as to what I think. I'll tell you what Vegas has to think about it in just a second. Let me get to the guys in chat. Clayton Huron says, evening, man. Smash that like button and share. Just got done building my deck for my house. Nice, dude. Nice. Well, I hope it came out well. I hope you enjoy it. And that's totally awesome. Yes, do exactly what Clayton says, please, guys. Smash the like button and share it with your friends, family, pets, relatives, whatever. I appreciate it. Robert Marino says, Vikings hate Sean Payton. Perhaps this is why the game is in prime time. You're right. You go back to the New Orleans game. You go back to, okay, I see where you're coming from, Robert. Yeah, you go back to the New Orleans game. And, I don't think there's too much love lost between Sean Payton and the Vikings and all that. But, yeah, you got a really, really good point. Really good point. Avatar said, Detroit scares me a little. Okay, Avatar, explain why. Why does Detroit scare you? They really don't have anybody. I mean, that NFC North is the Vikings division to lose. Green Bay does not have Rodgers anymore. Detroit doesn't really have, I mean, they have a quarterback, but I mean, they're not really that dominant. And the Chicago Bears are a mess. So, I mean, if the Vikings don't win that division, there's something wrong with the Vikings, because that's a division. Literally, the only team they had to worry about last year was Green Bay, and they steamrolled them. So I don't know. Detroit has never really scared me. I would say maybe. Well, you bring up a good point, Avatar. Yes, their defense is solid, but if they can't score points, or if they can't get the ball, turned over to their offense, which can't score points, I understand what you're saying about the defense. If the defense scores points, makes it a short field for maybe an easy touchdown or a field goal, or gets a pick six, blocks a field goal that could win it in later games. Yeah, I get that. Detroit does play tough at times. I do understand it. And I do get what you're saying. I just think that the Vikings have way too much firepower. But now that they don't have the Darius Smith, I'm not sure about their defense and their pass rush. That's gonna be something to look into, especially when it gets closer and closer to the Vikings playing them in week 11. The Broncos playing the Vikings in week 11. It's going to be interesting to see how their pass rush performs in the first 10 weeks. That's a good point. Wow. Clayton says he's smelling a lot of wins this year. Okay. All right. Well, I would love to say we're going to win 10 or 11. I just don't know. Because first off, it comes down to three things, guys. It really does. It comes down to matchup, how the players match up against the defense. It comes down to injuries. If we can minimize the injuries, especially season-long injuries, that's another factor. And the other factor is, which Russell Wilson are we going to see? Is it going to be Sean Payton being able to put Russell Wilson back together like Russell Wilson has played in his career? Or is it going to be the Russell Wilson a repeat of last year? I don't think it's going to be a Russell Wilson repeat of last year. But the thing that bothers me is I just don't know. I don't think he's going to be that bad. But is he going to be as good as he once was? Like that country song said, I may not be good as I once was, but I was good once, or something like that. Anyways, I just don't know. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to get back that type of form. But holy smoke, if he gets that type of form back, we have Jerry Jeudy again, we are back again, we have Cortland Sutton, we have Tim Patrick, we have KJ Hamler, we have our tight ends, we have a running back that we got from Kansas City, hopefully we have Javonte Williams back, even if he's 90%. This team is loaded, absolutely loaded, but it hinges on Russell Wilson. And it ultimately falls on Sean Payton's shoulders to get that guy right. If he can get him right and back on track, oh my gosh. You know what, Clayton? You could be onto something. You absolutely could be onto something, saying you smelling a lot of wins if all of those factors come together. That's why it's important to watch these preseason games and see how these guys play. Sean Payton's going to do it completely different than we have seen in a long time. Let's see. Okay. Robert says, are you bummed that Denver's not playing any international game? No. Absolutely. Exclamation point. No, I'm not bummed. I don't want them traveling 11, 12, 13 hours overseas to go play a game, and it takes away a home game or it takes away a road. Well, if it takes away a road game, it's still a road game. But I don't like it. I understand that the NFL wants to market its product overseas and to bring in outside fans. I get that. But wow, that is taxing on players. It absolutely is taxing on players that they travel that distance, whether they go to Germany or England, Mexico City, wherever it may be. It's taxing because you have to go through customs and you have to go through all these different protocols. And with all these, everything post September 11th, you've got a mountain of things that you've got to go through just to get to that country. No. I am so glad the Broncos are not going overseas. Absolutely not going. What? Avatar, you're bummed that they don't have a Germany game? How come? What's the reason? Like I said, I know that they want to, market, but man, when those games start, I'm in a Pacific time zone. And those games start like at 4 a.m. And I'm not one of those guys that records a Broncos game or an Avalanche game and watch it later. No, I want to be in the moment when it's actually happening. Sure, I know that they don't know that I'm yelling for them. Well, I have a tendency to think that they do. But anyways, I know that realistically they don't have a clue that I'm cheering for them. But I do. I know that when I hear it and see it, it's actually happening at that moment. I get joy out of that because then I kind of feel like I'm there. Even though I'm not physically there, I feel like I'm emotionally there. So to me, I mean, a game starts at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 or 6 on a, yeah, I guess I could get up for it and stuff. But I mean, no, I'd just rather have the games in the Bronco games here in the United States, somewhere local where I can watch it at a decent time. Okay, so the Avatar, you're saying there's no game in Germany this year? It's only in England? I believe it's in England. Yeah. So I wonder why there's not a game in Germany at all by any team. Let's see. Clayton says, man, oh man, a healthy Russ and strong running game and our receivers and defense that we have look out, that we have, I think you want to say that they will have to say, look out, man. I agree. But the issue is it all hinges on Russell Wilson. And the offensive line. They have to make holes and create holes for the running backs. And they have to have great pass blocking to keep Russell Wilson upright and allow him to find his receivers. He couldn't find anybody worth any time last year. So hopefully that's corrected. Absolutely. Hopefully that's corrected. Avatar says he usually gets up that early. I do when I'm working at the golf course, which I do work at Wednesday through Saturday. I get up at 4 a.m. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I get up 4 days a week at 4 a.m. I want a couple of days just to kind of sleep in. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Okay. Anyways, Avatar says there's a couple of games in Germany, just not a Broncos game. All right, that's cool. Well, that's good. Good for them. I just don't like that travel time. It's just extremely long on the players. It's difficult on the players and everything that they got to go through. I just think that it's extremely difficult to go overseas. But hey, the NFL wants to make money. They're making money hand over fist. So who am I to say, right? Who am I to say? Robert says, what game on schedule the Broncos wear their color rush units? What home game? Color rush. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I haven't thought about that. I just wish that they wouldn't wear their color rush. I wish they wear their all blues because that's my favorite combination. But color rush, I don't know. Would it be a primetime game? Could be. Could be a primetime game. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll check into that. When I get the answer, I'll definitely get the answer and I'll pass it along on a show down the road. All right. Clayton said, this is a year we beat the Chiefs. I said that earlier. I said we won't beat the Chiefs in prime time in Kansas City. I don't feel that we'll do that. But I do think that we will beat the Chiefs 2 weeks later after we play Green Bay. I think we'll beat them at home. So, yes, I do feel we'll beat the Chiefs. Would it be great to beat the Chiefs in prime time in their stadium? Oh, heck yeah, it would be. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of the schedule and the games and how many of the games the Broncos are going to win, Las Vegas isn't too sold on the Broncos' new head coach, Sean Payton, and Russell Wilson getting their act together. We won 5 games last year. Vegas has us only winning 8.5 games. Now, I know, guys, you cannot win 8.5 games. You either win 8 or you win 9, but you don't win 8.5. Reason why they put that half a game or half a point in there, it's so they'll take your money. If you bet that the Broncos are going to win 9 games and they only win 8, you lose your money. If you bet that the Broncos are going to win 8 games and they win 8.5, you win your money. Or if you bet on the 8.5, you win your money. They're betting that you're not going to do it. They're betting that you'll say 8 or you'll say 9. That half a point is in Vegas's favor. Now, let me ask you this. 8 games, let's say they only win 8 games. What 8 games are they going to win? Raiders, week 1. Washington, week 2. Chicago, week 4. Green Bay, week 7. Houston, week 13. Lions, week 16. Patriots, 17. Patriots, 16. Chargers, 17. And Raiders, 18. That to me adds up more than 8. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying if I'm just throwing those out there. So why does Vegas have the Broncos listed at 8.5 points? It says with the draft over and even with Sean Payton as head coach, Vegas still has the Broncos projected to win just 8.5 games over under. This is from DraftKings and FanDuel combined. 8.5. We won 5 last year. We could have won, and easily we could have won 10. We were in so many close games, but Hackett just couldn't figure out how to get it done or what kind of play to put in whatever. We could have easily won more games, but we didn't. And now we have Sean Payton. 8.5? That to me is a slam dunk. I say 9, maybe 10. I have to go over it. I know I said 10 last year and we only got 5, but that was last year. And that was Hackett. And that was a mess. I don't know, man. Vegas has it way too low, in my opinion. 8.5? Seriously? No, I definitely see us winning at least 9, maybe 10. Let's see. Clayton says, nope, 10-13 win Broncos country. Wow. 13? Well, it means we only lose 4. Who we lose it to? The Chiefs? Who we lose it to, man? We know. I know you. Come on, you can't say we're beating Buffalo in Buffalo on November 13th. I don't see that, dude. I don't see that at all. So we lose to Buffalo. We lose to Kansas City. We lose to. We could lose to the Vikings. They got a solid team. So you got let's just say Buffalo, Kansas City, Minnesota, and the Chargers once. So we're sweeping the Raiders. We're splitting with the Chiefs and Chargers, and we're running the table on the Raiders, the Redskins, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Jets. You have us beating the Jets. Okay, let's take off the Vikings one. Let's say we beat the Vikings. So you got So we lose to the Jets, we lose to the Chiefs, we lose to Buffalo, we lose to the Chargers once. Wow. That is crazy. All right. Well, hey, you got your opinion. I respect your opinion. I love it. I hope we do win 13. That means we'll win the division. Absolutely. Hands down. No doubt about it. Woo. Man, that's an eye-opener. That's an eye-opener for sure. Let's see. So let me throw this out there. Robert Marino wants to know, and I'm going to throw this out to everybody in chat too. What day is your favorite prime time day? Sunday night, Monday night, or Thursday night, or the occasional Saturday? My favorite time for prime time has been, always will be Monday night. That's the one that started it off. Monday Night Football with Dandy Don Meredith, Howard Cosell, and others that graced that primetime Monday. Sunday night's fun too, because you got all the Sunday games and you got a nice Sunday night game to kind of, top it off. But I really like Monday night. I'm glad they do Thursdays. I really do, because that kind of kicks off the week and kind of gives you in the mood. It doesn't make the week that long from Monday to Sunday. It's Monday to Thursday. So you get a couple of, extra days a couple of less days to get into your football mode. So yeah, but my favorite all time is going to have to be Monday Night Football. That's absolutely my favorite time. It just is. It's the one that kicked off. It's the one that kicked off anything else but Sunday. So yes, I will definitely say Monday night. Good question though, Robert. Very good question. Let's see. The Avatar says Dolphins at Chiefs in Frankfurt week 9, then Colts at Patriots week 10. Wow. So they're going to do back-to-back weeks over there in Frankfurt, Germany. Well, that's good. I think the Chiefs will beat the Dolphins. No problem there. And Colts Patriots, that's a little bit more even. It's a little bit more even, but that's still those are still good games. Good games. I think it's great to have games overseas. I'm just not a big fan of wanting the Broncos over. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with being in England or Germany or Mexico City or wherever. I just don't like the Broncos making that type of travel and wear and tear on the guys. All right. I know where you're coming from, Clayton, when you say our ground and pound game. I know we need a running game, but I mean, why do we have all these weapons? Why do we have Russell Wilson back there? I mean, put me in the backfield. I'll just hand the ball off. I mean, if that's what it is. I mean, I know we need a running game to establish the pass, but man, this is a pass-happy league. You can't have a Jerry Jeudy and a Cortland Sutton and a Tim Patrick and a KJ Hamler and our tight ends out there just blocking. You can't have that. I mean, I don't want to go back to the 1920s where you ran the ball 175 times a game. No, I don't want it that way. This is not the kind of league that I want. I want a mixed league. I said it earlier in some of my shows past. I want at least 50-50, 55-45, or at worst 60-40 run versus pass. I'll take that. Anything more, I'm not going to like it. And I know, guys, if we win the game 14-13 and we ran the ball, 100 times a game, I know we're not going to do that, but you know what I'm saying? If we ran the ball, 30, 45 times and we win, yes, I'll be happy. I won't like how we got there because I want a lot of offense. I want passing. I want excitement. I don't want a constantly running game. I don't want it. I know if we win, I'll be happy. I just don't want that style of game. I want an action-packed game. I want the Broncos to light it up like a Roman candle. That's what I want. Okay. That's good. That's good, Avatar. I like that. Avatar says he likes Sunday because it's the only one he doesn't miss the beginning of the game. Very true, because you're not working. That's why. Monday night, you can miss it. Thursday night, you can miss it. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Good point, Avatar. Very, very good point. Let's Let's see. Want to welcome in Spencer Bronco in VA 9986 says, personally, I think 9 is very realistic. 10 is possible. Yes, 10 is very possible. 10 is very possible because if you win 10 games out of 17, that means you could lose 7. You could lose some of those close games. You could lose, to a Buffalo Bills team or a Vikings game or a Patriots sneaking up on you or something like that. Yeah, very, very true. 13, it's a little stretch, but I'll take 9 or 10 because I want a winning season. Even if we go 9 and 8, that's a winning season. Not a very solid winning season, but it's a heck of a lot better than last year's 5 and 12. I'll give you that. So yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks, Spencer Bronco, for chiming in on the chat. Let's see. Whoa. Spencer Bronco also says, I will take under center with go run. With 60 run, 40 with 60 run and 40 pass. I think you mean 5 yards a pop. Yeah, well, you need that kind of guy. We had him in Javonte Williams, but he got injured with the torn ACL and MCL. So we don't know what kind of pop we're going to get from our running backs. Sure, if you average 5 yards a pop, why wouldn't you run it all the time? Problem of it is that they're going to start stacking 8 guys into the box, and you're not going to be able to get, 5 yards a pop. Just not going to happen. So 5 yards a pop, sure, I'll take that all day long. I just don't see that being consistent. Okay, Dick Vermeil says this about Russell Wilson. Here it is. Hall of Fame coach Dick Vermeil said about Sean Payton being able to fix Russell Wilson, and I quote, if he, meaning Sean Payton, Sean Payton can't do it, it can't be done. I have tremendous respect for Sean Payton. To me, he and Andy Reid are the offensive coaches of the decade, end quote. Wow, that speaks volumes. Dick Vermeil is a Super Bowl winning head coach, just the same as Sean Payton is. And Dick Vermeil knows what it takes to have that winning caliber. He's a winning Super Bowl winning head coach, like I mentioned. And if he feels that Sean Payton cannot correct, end quote, fix Russell Wilson, nobody can. And that scares me big time. Because does Russell Wilson, is last season's debacle and just pathetic performance by Russell Wilson, is that stuck in his head? Or can he shred it and just put it aside and say, okay, I'm turning the page. I'm starting anew. This is a whole new season, whole new attitude, whole new coaching staff. I'm focused. I'm hoping that's the case. And I'm hoping that he's buying 100% into what Sean Payton wants to do with him. All Russell Wilson has to do is look at what Sean Payton did for Drew Brees and his career. Drew Brees said of Sean Payton extended my career by the way he used the offense and the plays and the play calling that Drew Brees, was able to be put into. If Sean Payton can do that with Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson buys it, eats it, swallows it, ingests it, and focuses on exactly what Sean Payton is saying, then in my opinion, yes, Russell Wilson can get back to being the Russell Wilson of old. I just don't know yet because I haven't seen any preseason. The Broncos brass, led by Sean Payton, is lips sealed on what they're doing. Why? He doesn't want it out there. He doesn't want people to know this isn't a free-for-all like it was last year. Last year was like a freaking National Lampoon freaking Christmas Vacation or something. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. It was nuts. Not with Sean Payton. It is grindstone, is a nose to the grindstone, and it is hard work, and it is lips sealed. Don't say anything. Don't show anything. We're all business. That's what I like. But what I don't like is not knowing which Russell Wilson we're going to get. That's the part that bothers me. But we'll find out sooner or later. I mean, training camp, I think, starts OTAs and all that in what, late June, early July? First preseason's in August. So it's around the corner, guys. It's around the corner. All right. Great news. Kareem Jackson will be back in a Broncos uniform for his 5th season on a 1-year deal. He, along with Justin Simmons, are solid force at safety. Jackson's salary is $2.6 million. Denver gets a $1.35 million cap relief by signing him. That's great news. I love Kareem Jackson. I mean, I know Kareem Jackson is not as solid of a player as a Justin Simmons, but when you have a 1 and a 1A, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. So hopefully nothing catastrophic happens to Justin Simmons and that Kareem Jackson just comes in certain packages and that kind of thing. I am so glad to have Kareem Jackson back. I was advocating, not that I have any say or pull with any Bronco organization, but I want Kareem Jackson back because he is that 1A to Justin Simmons. He knows his team. It'll be the 5th year Simmons and Jackson have worked together and been on the same defense for those years. They know each other. They know the defense. I know, guys, it's a whole new coaching staff. I understand. But it still comes down to knowing what the other guy's going to do in any given situation. Kareem Jackson knows what, come on, not Justin Simmons, but our corner. Golly, I can't think of his name. Anyways, oh, shoot, guys. Anyway, let me hit this real quick. Let me turn this off real quick. Sorry, guys. I can't think of his name. Patrick Surtain. There you go. So he knows what Patrick Surtain's going to do. And so he doesn't have to learn a whole new offense if he went, or a whole new defense if he went to another team. Broncos brought him back. Yes, it's only on a 1-year deal, but hey, 1 year is better than no year. I totally agree. Glad to have Kareem Jackson back. Absolutely glad. Okay, so Clayton is responding to what I said, that he hates that too. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know. I just don't know what team, I mean, what quarterback in Russell Wilson we're going to get. Maybe what? Let's see. No, I would, is that my agent call? Robert Marino says, is that my agent calling? No, I don't have an agent yet. That'd be nice though. That would be really nice. But no, I don't. But thanks for asking. If I had, I would have told you. Yeah, absolutely. Rising Rhino. Hey man, how you doing? Glad to have you in the house. Glad to have you in the chat. Feel free to comment on anything, ask a question, whatever. I'll get to it. Hey, D-Rock, what's happening, my friend? D-Rock's in the house. Says, sup, Bill? Hey, doing good, man. Just living the dream, doing the show. Loving every bit of it. All right. Let me get to the newly signed Adam Troutman. Now, I mentioned him last show. He agreed. Now, this is interesting. Newly signed Adam Troutman agreed to nearly cut his salary in half this year to play for the Denver Broncos. Why? I get there. His previous salary would have been $2.7 million, and he signed with Denver for $1.5 million. That's all because he wanted to be back with Sean Payton. There you go. That's what you call devotion. That's what you call trust. Why would a guy nearly cut his salary in half from 2.7 to 1.5 million if he didn't want to play with the coach that he played with in New Orleans, that he knows is a winner, that knows how to run a team as a head coach? No other reason in the world, excuse me, no other reason in the world to cut your salary in half or agree to cut your salary in half if you didn't have confidence in the place you were going to because of the head coach. Not only that, but he feels strongly that the Denver Broncos have what it takes to make the playoffs. Obviously, Why would you go to a team why would you cut your salary in half and go to a team that had zero chance of having success? Nobody in their right mind would do that. I certainly wouldn't. But if I knew I was going someplace that was a proven winner like Sean Payton, a proven organization like the Denver Broncos have been, except for the last 6 years, why not? Why not? That's exactly what Peyton Manning brought when Peyton Manning came to the Broncos in 2012, I believe. Yeah, 12, yes. He brought, he lured people in left and right. Aqib Talib, DeMarcus Ware. That's the reason why. Because they'd say, wait a minute, Peyton Manning's a winning quarterback. He's on the Broncos now. Whoa, man, I got to go there. Well, Sean Payton is on the Broncos now as a head coach. And these players are going, man, I'll take less money to have a chance to win. That's what these guys want. They want a chance to win. Nobody wants to go on a team and be a perennial loser like the Broncos have for the last 6 years. But when you got a Sean Payton, things change. Things change. That's remarkable. To me, that is remarkable that a guy would take almost half money because he is chasing the elusive dream of a championship. That to me speaks volumes, not only for Troutman, but it speaks volumes for Sean Payton. Absolutely it does. Hands down, no doubt about it. Yes, I mentioned that earlier, D-Rock, at the top of the show when I was talking about the schedule. Absolutely love the bye week in the middle. You can't get any more middle than week 9. I mean, we have an odd number of games. So you're going to either have, the middle is either going to be 8 or 9. So I think it's perfect spot. Absolutely perfect spot. Rising Rhino, I mentioned this earlier. How many wins you think the Broncos get this year? I don't know. I'm not really going to go into that till probably the first or second preseason game when I do my show after that. Reason being is I don't know. I don't know what team we're going to see. Everything's so tight-lipped. There's no video of practices or any, it like I said earlier, Sean Payton has made these guys' lips go whoop, zip it up. Don't say anything. Don't show anything. Don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. And he's running it like an organization should be run. Close-knit to the vest because you don't want any secrets coming out. This is not a National Lampoon, vacation. This is Broncos, the way Broncos should be run. So I don't know. I'm guessing I will say between 9 and 10, but I won't know, and I will come out with that as we get closer to the preseason and regular season. But I say right now, probably 9 or 10 is what I'll say. Hey, Rise Around, you're a Colts fan? Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. That's good. We loved having Peyton Manning on our team for 4 years. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. But no, the Colts, the Colts are I have no problem with them. No problem whatsoever. Let's see. Spencer Bronco says, is there a world where Sutton, Judy, Mims, Patrick, and Hamler exist? I keep hearing Denver analysts saying Hamler will get cut. Wow. I've heard that too. I don't want KJ Hamler gone. I really don't. I think KJ Hamler is a really, really good receiver. And my fear is that if that happens, he'll go to a team and he'll light it up because he is that kind of a dynamic receiver. Do we have too many receivers and not enough footballs to go around? No, I don't believe so. Not in certain packages that Sean Payton could put together. He can do 4 wide. He can do 4 wide in the slot and not have a running back. I mean, there's many variations where you can get all 5 of those guys in there. Absolutely. And who are you going to cover? You're gonna double team Judy? Okay, fine. Well, you can't double team Tim Patrick or KJ Hamler or Cortland Sutton or Mitt. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't cover everybody. So my whole thing is, why not keep them? It's not going to hurt the Broncos to keep them. I just don't know what their mindset is. And again, we won't know until we get a lot closer to trade deadline and and OTAs and practice and all that. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Wait, no, that's it. I'm sorry. Let me pull that back up here. D-Rock said the Jets are a team he's most interested in looking forward to seeing this season. Is it because of Aaron Rodgers? Is it because the Broncos play the Jets at home and Nathaniel Hackett comes back as their offensive coordinator, formerly our pathetic head coach? Is a combination? What is it? What is it, D-Rock, that you're really interested in the Jets? Is it their overall team? Yeah, the Jets are a much more improved team. Absolutely. Much more improved. But I say I'm looking forward to the Jets coming to Denver. I believe it's week 5. It's week 5. Coming to Denver because I want the fans to boo the heck out of Hackett, and I want them to boo the heck out of Rodgers because Rodgers wouldn't come to Denver. Not that I wanted him. I mentioned this many, many times. Not that I wanted Rodgers on the team with his attitude, but when Hackett was here as a head coach, Rodgers didn't come here. But Hackett is the offensive coordinator in New York, and Rodgers wants to go there. So, I want the Broncos fans to boo Rodgers all day long. Boo Hackett, boo Rodgers, boo the entire Jets team. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait for that. I'll be booing here in my den, yelling at the TV. Boo! Absolutely, I will. No doubt about it. Wow, D-Rock, I was right. It's because of Rodgers and Hackett. I totally agree. And that's what I'm talking about. You got to boo everybody, boo their heads off. Absolutely boo their heads off. Let's see. Let me go to, let's see. Wow. Clayton says he thinks 30 touchdowns and close to 4,000 yards passing. You're talking about Russell Wilson, correct? Wow. 30 touchdowns? What did he have last year? 14, 16. I think he had 16 last year. So you're basically doubling it. Well, that means that we're going to have a pretty balanced team if Sean Payton wants to focus on running the ball, and if you're going to have that many touchdowns, then you're going to have a pretty balanced offense. 50-50, 55-45, 60-40, that kind of thing. All right. This is interesting. On a tweet posted by a person who posted a picture of Ezekiel Elliott was on a plane that was headed to Denver, Colorado. This was last week. Could Ezekiel Elliott be a possible running back for the Broncos this season? Well, I saw the picture. I downloaded the picture, and that is Ezekiel Elliott, and it was confirmed that he was on a plane headed to Denver, Colorado. Was it for a ski trip? Was it just to hang out? Or was it to meet with Sean Payton, George Payton, Greg Penner? I don't know. Again, the Broncos brass is mum. They are lips sealed. Nothing is coming out of Dove Valley in any relationship whatsoever to what's going on. I have no idea. But that was interesting that a picture was posted by a person on a plane that took a picture of Ezekiel Elliott and posted saying this plane is on its way to DIA, Denver International Airport. I don't know, but I do know that Ezekiel Elliott is no longer a Dallas Cowboy. So, could he come to Denver? What do you guys think of that? Would you want an Ezekiel Elliott on the Broncos? I say, why not? 1 year. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to help the Broncos out. Why not? Why not? Certain players I don't want on Denver, but I wouldn't mind Ezekiel Elliott. He's got experience. He's got longevity in the NFL, so he knows what it takes to be at your best of what it takes, game in and game out. He can teach these younger guys. I say, why not? He could be a mentor, even if he's only on Denver for a year or two. I mean, heck, we signed Melvin Gordon, and he was a flop. He fumbled every single time he looked at the football. Ezekiel Elliott is different. Why not? Why not? If we signed a Melvin Gordon, Why not sign Ezekiel Elliott? Just throwing it out there. I have no idea whether it's true or not of why he was even going to Denver. Maybe it was just a stopover. Maybe flying to DIA and then catching another plane. Doesn't sound like it. Those guys have bank. They can go nonstop. So I don't know. Just very, very interesting. Robert Marino says Ezekiel Elliott wanted to go shopping at Walmart. Hey, if you're going to go shopping at Walmart, you might as well go shopping at Walmart in Denver because they probably are loaded with everything there since, Rob Walton owns the Broncos. So that's a good one. Right? That's a good one, man. This is a good point, though, too. Spencer Bronco says, if you bring in Elliott, who gets cut? Is it Boone? Probably Boone. Somebody like that. I wouldn't think you would cut a Javonte Williams, and we wouldn't cut the guy we just got from Kansas City. I can't think of his name right now either. But no, those two I think would be solid. Boone possibly, but then again, you don't really have to cut him. You just send him back to the practice squad, and you bring in Ezekiel Elliott, and you see what he can do in game situation. And if he falters, then you let him go, or you just bench him like we did Melvin Gordon a handful of times. So I don't know. I just think it'd be interesting if an Ezekiel Elliott came to Denver because he could be a good mentor to the younger guys. That's the only point I'm trying to make. And he could be beneficial. Like I said, I mean, he had really, really good years in Dallas. Not so much, the last several years, but hey, he gets older. But he could work, in my opinion, he could work in the Sean Payton restructured offense at all. I mean, for sure. Okay. On a very bummed note, Gabriel Landeskog had cartilage transplant last Wednesday in Chicago. The surgery was a success, but the Avalanche captain will miss the entire 2023-2024 season again. He missed all of last season, and the Avalanche missed advancing in the after the first round of the playoffs, losing to the Seattle Kraken in 7 games. Now we don't have our captain again, Gabriel Landeskog, for another season. I know this is Broncos Breakdown, but hey, the Avalanche are prevalent to me. Absolutely prevalent. I'm a huge Avalanche fan. You guys know that if you watch my show or the neighborhood. The thing that bothers me the most is, will he ever come back? Will Gabriel Landeskog ever come back, not only in a Colorado Avalanche uniform and skating, but reconstructive, or I should say cartilage transplant? I've never heard of that. I've heard of bone transplants. I've heard of bone marrow transplants and other things. Never cartilage transplant. That is interesting. And I don't know what that means for his career or the future on the Avalanche. He signed an 8-year contract in 2020 or 2021. 2020 or 2021, 8-year contract. What does that mean? Is it guaranteed? Are the Avalanche on the hook? I don't know. But more importantly, this is an absolute crushing blow to the Avalanche moving forward. Because now they don't have their captain on the ice again. And now they don't have the firepower of a Landeskog and the leadership of a Landeskog. And we all saw last year what happens when you lose key players like we did for the majority of the season. Gabriel Landeskog, thank goodness he had, successful cartilage transplant, but he is gone for the entire 2023-2024 season. Whoa. Wow. That one. Okay, let's go back to football. Spencer Bronco says, cutting Boone takes away the pass-catching running back. We say Williams do it a lot in Seahawks passing game. Pass-catching running back would be part of Peyton's offense. I agree. But are you trying to say, and Boone is a good receiving running back, no doubt about it. But are you saying that Devontae Williams couldn't be that guy? Or that Ezekiel Elliott couldn't be that guy? Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, Zeke Elliott's not really known for his great, pass catching out of the backfield. So you're probably right there when it comes to Boone. So yeah, maybe. I mean, you really do have a good point in saying that. Who would we cut or who would we put on practice squad, that kind of thing. That's a very, very good point when it comes down to pass catching from a running back. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay. Spencer also follows up the Landeskog comment or the topic. He said he was just discussing Gabe with a buddy. He's a club legend. I don't think he plays ever again. That's my fear. That's my fear. And the reason why I say it's my fear is because then where the Avalanche go? Where do we go from there? I've always said that that Nathan McKinnon should be a captain, but maybe Nathan McKinnon just doesn't have the type of presentation or presence or whatever that a Landeskog had. I don't know. I don't know what that locker room's like. I have no idea. I know that McKinnon is well worth it in his gameplay, and so is Cale Makar. But there must be something internally that Gabriel Landeskog can relay to the players and get the best out of them. I don't know what it is, but not having him on the team and possibly, like Spencer Bronco says, possibly not having him ever again is detrimental, absolutely detrimental to this team. And I don't know where the Avalanche go. I don't know what direction they go. I really don't, because this is extremely bad news going into the offseason and heading into a new season starting next year. Okay, going back to football, D-Rock says we need edge rushers desperately. Absolutely we do. Absolutely we do. But who do we get? I mean, we let several guys go. I know we drafted a couple of guys, but they have to pan out. We don't know what we're going to get. It may take a year or two before they develop into, NFL caliber. Don't know. But then again, you could have a Von Miller right out of the gate, just knowing exactly what to do and get it done. And like his career has always been. I don't know, but that's a good point. We do need edge rushers. Robert Marino says Vance Joseph will address the edge rusher. Sure hope so. I really, really hope so. Because we knew, I mean, shoot, we don't have who's that guy we got from Dallas? He'd been injured forever on the Broncos. Can't think of his name right now. I believe it starts with a G. Why can't I think of his name? Anyways, he's been injured more than he's been on the field. So he needs to get healthy. And we need to have these guys step up. Absolutely step up. So we just don't know. Gregory. That's what I'm thinking about. I knew it started with a G. Randy Gregory. Absolutely right, Spencer. You're absolutely dead on. Randy Gregory deal was horrible from the beginning. Can't stay healthy. Absolutely. And the thing about the Broncos getting Gregory that boggles my mind is if they knew that he was injury prone, why in heaven's name did they take a chance? Why did they do it? Talk about desperate. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, that was an absolute horrible trade or signing. Absolutely horrible signing. Clicked on it again. Absolutely horrible. All right. I'm going to go to a sad note regarding a former football player. All right. Former Minnesota Viking quarterback and Super Bowl IV quarterback has passed away at the age of 85. I am talking about Joe Kapp, Minnesota Vikings quarterback in Super Bowl IV against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Vikings' very first Super Bowl appearance in 1970. His death was listed as succumbing to dementia that he fought for 15 years. Oh my goodness. My mom had dementia and passed away with Alzheimer's, and she only, thank the Lord, only suffered for 3 years. I cannot imagine having to deal with a person that you're watching just deteriorate for 15 years. It's a horrific, it's an absolute horrible, horrible disease. I don't wish this on anybody. I really don't. And I saw what it does, and saw what it did to my mom in those 3 years after she had dementia and went into Alzheimer's. And it is absolutely heart wrenching. It really is heart wrenching. And I can't imagine 15 years. He remains the only quarterback. This is very, very interesting. Did not know this. He remains the only quarterback to lead teams to a Rose Bowl, Grey Cup in Canada, and a Super Bowl. Wow. Joe Cap, an amazing, amazing career. May you rest in peace. Wow. Whew. Yeah, I remember watching that Super Bowl. I was 12 years old. I was watching that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. I was a Minnesota Vikings fan then. I was a Vikings fan from 1970 to 1976 when I became a Broncos fan and have been a Broncos fan ever since. But the Vikings are my favorite NFC team and always will. And I remember watching that game and as a 12-year-old kid being crushed and devastated and crying when the Vikings lost to the Chiefs in that Super Bowl IV. That one hurt. That one hurt. And it still does to this day because it was the first Super Bowl that was my favorite team at the time. So Joe Cap, you'll be missed. Vikings Super Bowl and Super Bowl first Vikings Super Bowl quarterback, Super Bowl IV. Joe Cap, rest in peace. All right. Clayton, are you talking to me about how the weather is here? The weather here in Southern California finally got to spring. And we had some, May gray till about maybe 10 o'clock this morning, and then it cleared up. And I believe right now it's 82 or 83 degrees. So it's wonderful. Finally warming up. I'm really enjoying it. We had rain off and on from January all the way into parts of May. And it's been one of those weird winters and springs that we don't really see that much like that in Southern California. Clayton says it's 40 and rain in Wisconsin. Wow. Well, it just doesn't seem to be spring anywhere, does it? I mean, it's more like winter hangover, I guess. It's just really strange and weird. Hopefully we'll get to warmer weather across the country, of course, as we get closer to summer. So let's just hope that for everybody who's in those snowy states and rainy states. Okay, we're going to wrap this show up with a feel-good story. I really like this one. This tells me that the Walton Penner ownership group really means business, not only with the Denver Broncos and the football team and the organization as we as fans watch, but behind the scenes, away from the football field and in the community. This is great. And to me, it's a feel-good story. I really like it. Carrie Walton Penner will be leading the newly founded Broncos focus on youth, and she will double as a financial supporter. This comes from Mike Kliss reporting, Mike Kliss of 9 News Denver. That's fantastic. Guys, you have to understand, if you don't get the youth involved in sports and in academics and the future of this country and future of sports, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever it is, you don't get them involved in youth activities. It says newly founded Broncos focus on youth. So I'm assuming it has to do with, sports related. That's great. You've got to get these kids involved. Otherwise, you're just going to have them sitting at home, pushing buttons on a phone or a video game, and that's it. That's going to be their, quote, sports. No, that's not. You get them out there. You get them involved. You get them in the community. I don't know what else it says. It just says Broncos related to youth. It could be youth sports activities. It could be academics. It could be a socializing, getting them away from the phone and the PS4, the PS5, or the Xbox or whatever. Get them out there involved in helping the community, in building up their academics or their sports. Get them out there involved. Get them in the fresh air. Colorado has wonderful places to get involved in. And I love the fact that she's taking the reins of this. Carrie Walton Penner's taking the reins of this and starting up the newly founded Broncos youth. And it's going to be there for a financial support. This is great. This is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I love the fact that the Walton Penner group is putting their money where their mouth is. Seriously, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They said they were going to come in here and they were going to change the way the Broncos organization is run. They are going to change the culture of the Broncos and the culture of the community involving the Denver Broncos, their players, and their organization. This is putting their money where their mouth is. And that's exactly what they said they're going to do, and that's exactly what they're doing. I think it's great for the community. I think it's great for the organization. And I think it speaks volumes for the Walton Penner ownership group that is doing exactly what they said they're going to do. I had fear. I had concerns when they were going to buy it. I thought, oh, good gosh, where are they going to move? To Bentonville, Arkansas, where Walmart's located, their headquarters? I didn't want that. But it doesn't seem that that's the case. And with these things going on like this and like a potential new stadium and totally upgrading Mile High, or I call it Mile High Stadium, Empower Field at Mile High, they're putting all the money into that and showing that they are not going anywhere. And that's what I love the most. That's exactly what I love the most. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And before I get out of here and say all the stuff that I say at the end of the show about all the other shows, I just want to thank Big E Bronco 1974, Avatar, Robert Marino, Clayton Huron. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody, that's for sure. Let's see. I'm going down the list. Hold on, guys. I'm getting to everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. Spencer Bronco in VA 9986. Want to thank all of you guys for being here. Rising Rhino, D-Rock. Thanks every single one of you for being in the chat, for commenting, for making this show the best it possibly can be. If it wasn't for you guys, this show wouldn't necessarily be anywhere close to what it is. You guys make it the best. I thank you so much each and every week for being here, for your support. Thank you so much for hitting the likes button. Hit the thumbs up, please, on your way out. And thanks once again for all of your comments. Guys, you know what the shows are. We don't have any more neighborhood until Broncos games. But we have a show on Monday, which is a cluster puck. We have 5280, followed by No Nonsense and Whiskey, and that's on Tuesday. We have the Wednesday Wild Wild West. We have Thursday, can't remember. Let's see. Thursdays, hang on, guys. I'll get right to it. Thursdays is BPA Show, and we also have Mainly Broncos. So guys, tune into those shows if you want. And then again on Friday, this show, I'm going to have a special guest next Friday. I will get into that. And Mundungus Creevy is going to be on there as well. He's been on the show before, not my show, but he's been on the MHRT network. I will go ahead and throw it out there, guys. Please tune in. It is going to be Nick Ferguson is going to be on my show, Broncos Breakdown, with Mundungus Creevy. That goes live next Friday, 5 p.m. So please tune in for that. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Once again, to all the ladies out there, to all the moms and grandparents, or grandmothers, I should say, happy Mother's Day this Sunday. We will talk to you on Friday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.